my belief here with these AI models like ChatGPT is that what we're essentially talking about here is our digital brain. And,
Yeah.
and we're going to be, in the future, just giving these AI models all of our knowledge and information, and it will be like our physical brain in terms of it'll have all of our personal information and deepest and darkest secrets in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's kind of right.
yeah, and the more personal data that we feed this digital brain, the more powerful it will be in helping us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But my concern over that is that Chat GPT, OpenAI, Google's Gemini, these closed sourced model providers, when I'm using a Chat GPT, for example, I'm effectively using a company owned digital brain instead of my own digital brain.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want to do that, right? I want to own and control my digital brain just like I do my physical brain. Make sense?
Yeah, I kind of got that.
Okay, so I've been researching, this issue, and I've been coming across a lot of tutorials, etc., on locally hosting your own LLM model, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And using, Llama 3 or one of the other open source models from Hugging Face and hosting that model locally on the computer. And so it seems like there's kind of these two ends of the spectrum that have been, you know, explored, and there's a lot of people talking about them, and there's a lot of videos around them. One end of the spectrum is ChatGPT and the like, right? These
Uh,
closed source corporate owned digital brains and
mm,
AI models. And the other end of the spectrum is completely hosting everything locally, either on your own computer or on your own network at home, right?
yeah.
But I think there needs to be a third option, which is more like a website, right? So, are you familiar with WordPress?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a like
So,
software developer by job, so I am familiar with that kind of stuff.
cool. So, like I can host WordPress on my computer if I want to. I can host it on a home server,
Uh,
but there's also all these hosting companies that I can use, and it's easier, to set it up with a hosting company. I don't have to worry about the overall security of the network. They handle that. I just have to worry about my slice of the network. Uh, and
yeah.
and it's easier to administer. I can access it from anywhere. I can use it on my phone. I can use it on my computer, et cetera, et cetera. And if I turn my computer off, it still works, right? Um, so my thought is that there needs to be this third model, which is you still own and control everything, but you're hosting it in the cloud. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I said?
Yeah. So you are like trying to basically host your own like AI model instead of like using the provided one by the like these companies.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it on my own computer because I'm giving up a lot of performance and there's a lot of trade-offs, which in my opinion, I'm not picking up much.
Okay.
So,
So have you like tried anything like running those locally on your machine up to now?
yeah, I have
Any
I
models?
have Open Web UI running on my MacBook right now with
Okay,
a
so Open Web Viewer like it is just a web interface, so it does not do any like calculation. So it must be using some sort of model like let's say some Llama model in the backend. So it does not like compute anything like it is just a front end part. So you must be like using some sort of backend with that.
Okay, let me show you what I have. Let me share my screen. So I go to localhost 3000. You can see my screen,
Yeah, yeah.
and I can select a model here. These are the models that I
Okay.
have downloaded.
Uh,
Um, Llama 2 and Llama 3 were running pretty slow. So I started using Phi 3.
Okay.
That's faster. So tell me a joke. Although it looks like it's still pretty slow. All right, there you go. Sure. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything, even
Yeah.
jokes.
I also tried these models with the OpenWeb. So you must be like using what is called Olama, I guess that was the service. So it is like the backend for like it just downloads all the models you want with just one command, and like it hosts those backend for you. So I think you are using the same thing as I
Correct.
mentioned.
I'm using
So
Olama. Yeah.
yeah. So currently, I believe your MacBook is a powerful model, I guess. So which one is it?
I have, let me see. Yeah, I have the MacBook Pro M3 with 8 gigs of memory. I bought this like right before I started getting into AI, and they were like, "Well, if you're gonna need like a really powerful one, you should get this one." I'm like, I'm not really doing too much. And then like, of course, I bought the lower powered one, and now I want the higher powered one.
Okay, so for the AI stuff, I don't think the MacBook Pro will like really hold up. So I think you should go with the NVIDIA part. So in my laptop, it is like 5-year-old laptop, but once I use the GPU, so it is a relatively like weak GPU. But if I like use that GPU, the performance like there's massive boost in performance. So whenever we are talking about these cloud providers, so mostly let's say AWS. And DigitalOcean and all those. So they mostly for the like the for commonly they provide the virtual machines with only CPU and RAM. So there is no support for GPU. But if we try to rent those like VMs with GPU, so they come out to be uh expensive, I guess. So I have not actually rented them, but I have heard that the price is like much more like expensive compared to the regular ones. So uh,
So
uh,
I can't if we host with DigitalOcean or Amazon's Bedrock, for example, like they don't give you a GPU to use.
yeah, they should run. So I have a local setup currently. So what I will try to do is let's see. I was in the middle of the download, so it is around 82% complete. So I'll try to demonstrate you like I have a i5 machine with 4-core CPU and 16 gigs of RAM, and I will try to run the Llama 3 model on my machine, so you will get the perspective of like how that will perform without GPU. So
Well, yeah, and I mean that's fine, but like um, you know, that's one of the reasons why I was thinking, and maybe I'm wrong, but I was thinking that if I go with if we install all this in the cloud instead of on our local machines, then we can have access to the most powerful, components to run it, right?
yeah, so the server CPUs provided by the cloud providers seem to be like they would be really relatively powerful and yeah, powerful compared to our local devices. But uh, I have not like tried to run in the cloud before. I can set it up, but I have not like tested their like how their performance goes. I have like only one of my previous clients, so he was using his own PC with like RTX something graphics card, and he was like exposing some of the ports from local, and like he was like, accessing through the internet with his IP. So previously I
Okay.
have done installations like that, but not in the cloud. So I cannot measure like what kind of performance they like it will give if like we are not using the GPU ones. Uh, only like I'm meaning so if we like use simple VM, so it's just CPU and RAM. So I don't think I don't know what kind of performance it will give.
Well, I want to use the most powerful stuff. So I want to use a GPU, whatever like I've heard things about like Grok, which is like a really fast, serving of LLM place. Have you heard of that? Not Twitter Grok, but the hosting company Grok for LLMs.
Uh, I had not heard about that.
That's
So
okay.
uh,
So here's maybe what we can do as a next step. Um, why don't you spend a couple of hours and bill me for it? just researching what's available in terms of hosting these LLM. Here's what I'm looking for. Okay. The first thing is I want to be able to have a knowledge base, right?
Okay.
And I want to be able to dump all of my information, transcripts from calls. Eventually I'll wear one of those pens or whatever, and it's just feeding this knowledge base, all of my conversations and
Uh,
everything, right? So my understanding of this, that's like a database or a vector store, like that type of thing. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Okay. So I want to
okay.
have this knowledge base. I call that the storage and memory of the digital brain,
So
right?
basically what you're trying to do is, so you have a model that was provided by Facebook, or let's say some open source models on the base level. So we'll be feeding it all the information, and like it will like learn from that, and based on that it will be like helpful to you.
Yes, but I
I mean,
want to make sure that I own and control the knowledge base, right?
okay.
So if I want to move, like let's say that we decide that DigitalOcean is a good place to host this digital brain I'm talking about, right? And
Uh,
then let's say I decide I want to move to AWS, right? I should be able to easily do that, right? There should be no lock-in. Just like if I'm hosting a WordPress
yeah.
website with DigitalOcean and I decide I want to move to AWS, same thing.
Okay. Okay. So,
Okay, so that's there's these four components, right? There's the knowledge, the storage, memory, right? That's one component.
uh,
There's the retrieval, right? So that's the interface that I'm inputting and retrieving data to and from that knowledge base with, right?
uh,
Right now I'm looking at Open Web UI for that, but there's other,
okay.
front ends that I can use for that. But so again, I'm fine using whatever retrieval engine, but I don't want to be locked into it in any way, right?
Okay.
And then the third part, right? So we've got the storage memory, we've got the retrieval. Now we're talking about the intelligence, right?
Uh,
Of the brain, right? So that's the AI models, right? And I want to be able to switch between. I want to be able to use Llama 3. I even want to be able to use OpenAI. Like I want to be able to, just like I can in Open Web UI, you saw where I could change the model. Like I want to be able to leverage whatever intelligence
okay. Okay.
available to me, right? And then the final piece is the hosting, right? I need somewhere for this digital brain to live, right?
Okay, so hosting the like the open web UI part, it is not that difficult. So it can be hosted anywhere, but it like provides all the functionality. So if you want like a feature, let's say you want to host open web UI in one server, and we want to like host our models in different server. Let's say we want to host the model in a different provider that like gives us access to like exposes some API for us. So what we can do is we can host our web like the web part in some another server, and the model the computation part that would be in another service, and like it will like communicate like it the web UI interface like allows us to communicate between those like multiple providers as well. So like basically hosting the web part like web UI part, it is not that complicated, but we'll have to research on the like hosting the actual the AI model part.
Yeah, and that's I've heard a lot of good things about. Let me just make sure I give you the right name. Yeah, this one.
Okay, Grok.
Yeah. So check this out. It's like, tell me a story about a dog and a cat that become friends. Watch how fast this is. Oh, of course.
Okay, it requires
I
login.
gotta log in. Let me just log in real quick. See, it's already there.
Uh,
Look how fast that is. Let's do it again. Tell now add a giraffe into the story. See that? How fast that is?
yeah, that one is pretty fast.
Super
Uh,
fast.
okay. I
Okay, and
did
then
this
so
kind
so
of
then
thing
that's
around
the
like 1, 2 months ago, and I like remember some of those providers, but I like forgot them. So I'll have to do a little uh
It's okay.
research.
I'm
So
I'm
there
just
are like
looking for
there are other
I'm
providers as well. So for example, so they will like charge you based on your usage. So it's not like using VPS. So it will not be a monthly fixed rent, but like they charge you on the usage basis. So how many API you called and how much it had to compute. So there are providers for that as well. And I had their names and I forgot. So I'll just have to do a little research on them as well.
That's
So
okay. I'm just looking for someone that understands the technical side of this to help me figure this out. So just go ahead and do the research and bill me for the hours that you're doing the research. And then once you feel like you have something, maybe send me a little summary and we can do another call.
okay, okay.
Does that sound, do you think that I'm thinking about this the correct way, that it should be possible to host?
Yeah, it is possible, but so on the hosting part, I have not like done those things to that level yet. So I did only the hosting in the local PCs for other clients. So I have not like
Why do you
actually
think
done.
no one really is talking about hosting in the cloud as, an option?
So
Why do you think that
yeah,
is?
so if you're like really concerned about your privacy, so and you are going to like go extra length for the cost as well, so that will be the so most of the people they don't care about like privacy, I guess. So once they like calculate the like cost, so they think like it's like going with the default providers like ChatGPT and other like they just go on that. So they don't most of the time they care like they put like money over privacy. So if you're like really concerned about privacy only, then so you come to think about these
But I should
stuff.
still have really good privacy with what I'm talking about doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so for most of the part we can like avoid the telemetry. I have not looked around that as well. There should be some form to stop the telemetry. Like for the first time we'll be downloading the model, so we'll be directly like downloading from the Facebook, I guess, Meta. So the Llama model are like directly downloaded from the Meta servers, and after that we can like restrict its communication to outside world, or I there should be some form to like steps to stop the telemetry and stuff. So uh I'll like do a quick research on that as well.
Awesome. That sounds great. When do you think you'll be able to get back to me?
uh okay, so I'll do some research for 3 to 4 hours from now on, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. So maybe not like tomorrow is like Saturday, I guess. So should I disturb you on Saturdays? I'll just leave any updates on the Upwork chat.
Cool. Yeah, I'm around, but no, it's not an emergency, but like, yeah, if you want to work over the weekend, I'm happy to talk to you over the weekend.
Yeah, I have like full-time days off, so most of the time I only work in like the weekends. So
That's fine. That's fine with me.
okay, so I'll just send you all the updates I found on the chat.
Very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
Uh, Thank you for the opportunity and a good day to you.
You too. Take care.
Bye.